Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Smith, the editor of PHC News magazine. We're coming to you live from the AHR Expo. It's good to be back. It's been 2 long years that we were able to get back together, and the show literally is just open now. I can see a lot of people out and about in the aisles, and what we're doing today and tomorrow at our booth here at AHR Expo is a series of live interviews with a number of exhibitors and, well, people from the industry, really. And our first guest is Dennis Stinson, Vice President of Sales at Fujitsu General America, Inc. Dennis, thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here, and thank you for letting us kick off this series of conversations you have.
You are the very first. You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for choosing us.
Well, Dennis, tell us a little bit about yourself. What keeps you busy at Fujitsu? How long you been in the PHC community?
Well, like most people in the PHCC side of the world, I came into it from family. So my family was a manufacturer's representative out of the Mid-Atlantic market. For many, many years, I got into the rep business, was doing that for about 30 years, and then I had the opportunity to join Fujitsu, just a fantastic company, and worked my way up to Vice President of Sales, so just a great organization that we have.
I think before we went live, we were talking, I think you said you were at Fujitsu for 6 years, yeah?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And so you're obviously exhibiting it here at the Expo. Can you tell us what we might see at your booth?
Yeah, so we're glad to be back. We're glad to be back in front of our partners and being able to show our product. Absolutely. And at Fujitsu, we have really 4 main product lines. What we have is we have our Halcyon product line, which is our ductless heat pump line, and that is our flagship product offering. And that's going to give us mini splits in single zone and multi-zone from 9,000 BTU up to 45,000 BTU. In addition to that, we also have our AirStage product line, and that's our VRF, our variable refrigerant flow product line, and we have that available in really 2 series. A J series is our single phase VRF, and that's going to be 3 through 8 ton, and then we also have our 3-phase product, which is our vertical draw through product, and we're introducing some new product here. So we have 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16 ton product, and we can marry that together for up to 36 ton capabilities. So we're pretty excited about the addition of that product line and how that product line is going to continue to grow and expand for us. And then our 4th, and certainly not our least product offering, is our unitary product offering. So we've partnered with a world-renowned manufacturer. We're bringing that product to market under the Fujitsu product name. We're in about our 4th year with that now, and it's going very, very well. So we've had 4 product lines here, and we have all 4 of those, and each one of those have something new and unique that we're able to showcase here and get back to in-person conversations.
So 4 lines, but is there one maybe that is more newer than others, or maybe more growth potential than some of the others?
Well, it's interesting you say that. So we see what's happening in the ductless side of the business. We see that the ductless market in and of itself continues to grow by double digits. Now, the last couple of years, everything grew by a couple of double digits, but ductless over the course of time has consistently outpaced what our industry has done. And the future for that continues to be there. What we're seeing on the ductless side of the business is an expansion of that product line. So not only in capacity and sizes, but also in ranges. So we have product that will operate to full capacity down to minus 15 degrees. So our partnerships north of the Mason-Dixon, if you will, we're 100% sole source home comfort to be able to do that. But then we also look at the expansion of the low ambient product. So that gives us the opportunity to offer cooling in some commercial applications, server rooms. So as we look at the product line, when we started, as our industry started many years ago, it was spot heating and cooling, and we were chill chasers. Now we are fully operational, full capacity heat pumps, being able to perform from minus 15 degrees all the way up through 95 degrees. Okay. So it's exciting.
Good, good. And I know, again, when we talked before we went on live, you've got a ductless product, which it's not new, but it's kind of new sounding to me, at least.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for asking about that. We like to say that because everybody has the same reaction. Right. So what is a ducted ductless?
Well,
and it starts a great conversation. So what we know is that when we start looking at whole home solutions, when we start looking at heating and cooling capacities in the range that we now also have to take a look at what that insulation envelope looks like. So it may not be practical to mount a wall mount unit or a cassette or a floor mount in each and every room. So maybe some of those rooms we need to capture with one unit at a modest level of ductwork. So in the Halcyon product line, we have a slim duct, which will give us 0.36 static, so I'll be able to take care of a couple of rooms.
Okay.
I've got a medium static that'll take me up to 0.8, so I can capture more rooms with it. And then I also have a fully functional multi-position air handler that would replace a traditional air handler in ductwork. So now from a horizontal draw-through inverter-driven condensing unit, I can go from a lower static to a medium static to a high static and capture those individual rooms and still offer that zoning that multi-zones and ductless is known for. So it's an exciting product line.
Good, good. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of good products that we'll all see at your booth, but let's talk about the markets and the applications, I guess. I know your residential and commercial. Is there good things for each of those, or is one maybe more growth oriented this year at least than the other, or what?
Well, we see COVID has done a lot of unique things, right? So what we find is that many people are now working from home where they didn't before, and then they're now paying more attention to their home comfort systems than maybe what they did before. And then what we're also finding is that how something was originally designed is no longer how it's being used. So home comfort in and of itself, spot heating and cooling, efficiency is now all on top of mind for a consumer, and really a ducted ductless or a mini split product gives you that zoning capability right out of the box, and it also gives you extremely high efficiency. So I mean, we have product that'll take you up to 33 SEER, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but it's very high SEER. So the residential side is doing very, very well for us, and what we're also finding too is this terminology that we talk about, strategic electrification. So this has been going on really since the 80s, but it's a move from dependence on foreign fuel sources. So it's incentives in rebate form back to consumers to move off of a fossil fuel, or at least to consider options to a fossil fuel. So now we see the advent of the heat pump coming in. Certainly we're all heat pumps. So the last couple of years have been pretty exciting on the residential market, demand both from the consumer, but then also the incentives from the utility companies and our federal government to drive the sales of heat pumps. So it's an exciting part of the business to be involved in right now.
And those rebates and credits and whatnot, they're all continuing for the year ahead? And
yeah, very much so, very much so. And in fact, some states are obviously more aggressive than others, but as you look around, the incentives are there, the plans are for them to be there for some time, and to be honest with you, I don't know that in any time soon we're going to see a backing off of that. You know, we've got a lot of changes in the industry coming. We've got SEER 2 coming. We've got changes in refrigerant. So I think the addition of incentives and rebates are going to continue to be a very, very important part of our business.
Good, good. We've talked a lot about residential. Obviously it makes sense. If I'm working from home, hey, this place is kind of cold or a little hot.
Yes.
It's noticeable. What about commercial? What's the bright spots for the commercial market? Well,
the commercial side, again, we're expanding out our product line, taking us up to 16-ton units, and then be able to combine them up to 36-ton capability. So we're going even more full force into the commercial side of the business. But then you also get a lot more flexibility and choice on your indoor units. So we're seeing some interesting things happening on the control side of the business. We've created a relationship with Tritium, so now that gives us with the Niagara Jace controller, so that gives us the ability to work down the building automation and control side of that. They're a great partner for us. So now tying that into a much bigger scale on the HVAC side is going to be a very important part of our business.
I'm not so sure I know what Tritium does. What kind of company is that?
So they're an open protocol building management
like
system. In simplicity, yes. So what you can do is bring a lot of different types of product into that platform, and that platform is going to give you the ability to monitor and develop different resources out of that. So it's a great product.
Okay. Well, that makes me think of my next question about how do you control these units, these products? What are the trends that you see in terms of making them operate the best way that they can?
Yeah, so we know that out of the box, an inverter-driven heat pump is incredibly efficient by itself. So you could, if you wanted to, you could set it and forget it. We know that it works like a cruise control on a car, where it's going to ramp up and ramp down based on target temperatures and ambient temperatures outside, and we know that it'll do that all by itself. But as consumers, we're not always pleased with that, right? We want to do some things a little bit different. So really all of our products are capable of using a wireless remote control, doing a wired control. We have the ability to tie that into a Wi-Fi base, and then we also have the ability to tie that into a Google or Alexa, so if you want to lay it on your couch and yell at your air conditioning to turn up and down, you can do that as well. So all of those controls are capable now, and every consumer wants something a little bit different.
Okay, good, good. Now, my readers are contractors. Obviously, we also publish magazines for the wholesaler and engineering community.
Yep.
But let's talk about contractors for a second. What kind of resources do you have to get the contractors involved with the sale and installation and service of these lines?
Well, our contractor relationships are the most important ones that we have. So we want to do a couple of different things. What we want to do is be able to create a resource base that our installing contractors can get the training that they need. So we pride ourselves on our training. That starts with technical training, so that starts with application, make sure it's applied in the right spot, given a chance to work, and work correctly, so the expectations are there, but then also work through the installation side, and then into troubleshooting, and then to planned maintenance as well. We have recently started rolling into more of sales side of that, so working with some in-home selling systems, and we're still in the developmental stage there to be able to make that work. We also know that it's important for us to provide the resources to the contractors. So when you're out there, do you have an option for some financing? So not every consumer has the money in their pocket. Most consumers don't think about their home comfort system until it doesn't work anymore, and not everybody accrues for that type of fund. So we have to make sure that we have a tool for our partners to be able to do that. We also recognize our contractors through our elite contractor program on the ductless side and our premier contractor program on the unitary side. So a contractor that gets a minimum level of training, has a minimum level of installation, so a little time in the saddle, a little book work so that they understand it, and then from that point we have a promotable warranty. We have special programs that we run just for that group, because you should take care of your best partners, right? Not everybody should be treated equally, so you should take care of those that take care, that do the job correctly, and we recognize that. And then we have some backside stuff in there to help the contractor drive his business and maintain some margin to be able to do it as well.
Good, good. What about wholesalers, distributors, and the engineering community? Is there something you want to add for those guys?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our backbone of our business certainly is the installing contractor, but Fujitsu would be not who we are today without the support of our distribution. So we look for our distribution to have adequate inventory, and they do, to not only stock equipment but also parts, but then also engage in training. So the best value that a contractor can have from a distributor is when they walk in the door or call in and they get a knowledgeable person on the other end that is the Fujitsu authority locally. We offer TSA training, so technical service advisors. We have basically boot camps, so our distributors will invest in the resources of their people to send them our camp, so that we can have local resources in addition to our resources to be able to support the contractor.
TSA, I heard you right.
Yep.
Tell me more about that.
So technical service advisors, so we have a program, was started by our technical service department, to where we reached out to distribution. Distribution said to us, we want to be able to be a great resource for our contractor, but you need to put together a program to coach our people up so that we can have the know-how, but also have the authority. So when we need to make a call out in the marketplace, we need to do what's right for the contractor, we need to do what's right for the consumer, coach us up to get us to that ability to be able to do it.
Good,
so we send them off to a boot camp. It's a week, once a year, and we we take stuff apart, and if you want to have lunch, you got to make it work. So yeah.
Good. So the year is just kind of beginning. What can we expect from Fujitsu for the year ahead?
Well, it's going to be an exciting year, so I don't see demand slowing down. And in fact, based on the flow and the volume of orders that we're getting in, and then the inquiries we're getting through distribution, and also for requests for training, I don't see this year slowing down. It will at some point. I'm not sure that this is a sustainable level that we can be at for a prolonged period of time, but I think this is a time when our best practices really have to be defined. So not only as a manufacturer, but a distributor, but also a contractor, is really define your best practices. Leads are coming in very solidly for everybody, and it's the ability to grow your business, but also grow it smart for when times are going to get lean. So now's a really good time to focus on your business and not necessarily in your business.
Good, good. Well, Dennis, let's wrap things up. Any last words of wisdom before we part ways here?
Well, ours is, just look at all the, keep trained on what's happening out in the marketplace. So our industry is going to see some pretty significant changes over the next couple years. And that's going to be SEER changes, and that's also going to be refrigerant changes. And refrigerant changes is going to be the big one. Okay. There's some regulations we have to make sure we're conscious of. And if I'm speaking to the installing and the contractor side of the business, find a really good distributor that's got their hands around this, that they're working with the right manufacturer so the information's flowing into the marketplace so that you got the education you need on what's happening with code, what's happening with efficiency. They've thought about the transition of old product to new product, and they've also got the right product coming in that can move you through 25 and beyond. So find a really good partner. That's the best thing you can do in the next 12 to 18 months. Good.
Well, good words. Well, listen, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Before we let you go, can you tell us the booth number so people can stop by and see you?
Yeah, absolutely. We are located in 3934. 3934. So we're not all that far right down through here.
C3934, yeah?
C3934. So if you get a chance, stop by. And we've got plenty of staff in there. I'd be happy to talk to you about what we have there.
Very good. Well, thanks again for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
Perfect. Thank you. We're going to take a short break and get ready for our next interview. And we'll see everybody soon. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Steve Smith. I'm the editor of PHC News Magazine, and we're coming to you live from the AHR Expo. It's a good thing that everyone is back in person. We weren't able to get together for a couple of years. The show literally is just open for a half hour. There's a lot of people milling about in the aisles that I can see from our booth here. We have three people today from Armstrong Fluid Technology. My first guest is sitting right next to me right now, and I'll introduce his two colleagues as they come to the table. First, we got Matthew Burrell. He's the National Sales Manager, Construction Wholesale Distribution for Armstrong. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks. Good morning, Steve.
So, let's get right to it. What do you got that's new and exciting at your booth?
All right. Well, we're really excited to be back too. Really happy to be back at the show live, and glad to be exhibiting a lot of our performance solutions in the booth. Really, a few that I want to highlight for us here is we're going to be showing our OptiPoint control system. OptiPoint is our edge computing optimization system that utilizes machine learning to make sure your system is running at its optimal point at all times. Okay. So that's going to be one thing I want to make sure everybody comes to take a look at. The second piece is our Evercool system, which is a Tier 3 mission critical data center control system. That's there, and it's able to come out of our site, 85% complete, reduction of your installation time on site, and it gives us that switchover we need to maximize our uptime in a data center. Okay, so that's really an exciting product, really critical data center need, and a huge growth market here in the U.S. The final items we have, a lot of our design envelope products and our design envelope solutions we've expanded. So we've got our outdoor design envelope pump on display, and a really cool display. I really encourage everybody to come see it. We've got some cool interactive dynamic displays this year in the booth.
Good.
We're also showing our new design envelope permanent magnet medium-sized pump, which is coming this year.
Okay.
So very excited.
You mentioned the booth. Where are you?
We are in booth C4534. That's Charlie 4534.
Okay. And I'm sure you want good things from all three of these products you mentioned, but is there one that's maybe more growth oriented than the others, or I mean, you mentioned the data centers is hot.
For us, the real opportunity is to get into that edge on the computing side, get into the optimization, and really help our customers wring out all the energy they can and make sure they're getting the best out of their plants.
All right, very good, very good. And so those are three things at the booth. It sounds like you got some really good displays. I know I think there's a press event later today, and you got a party tonight as well.
Absolutely.
But what's not at the show, I think you're working on.
So, there's always more things.
Don't let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah,
there's
always
maybe
more things we're
working
working on, but our product development team, they're not quite ready to let it out yet. But we have, one of the things we do have coming is a design envelope energy transfer station.
Okay.
It's going to be a really innovative solution in the district energy world on the building side of the loop. That I think people will be really excited about once it comes out. It really comes down to optimizing our heat exchange and our pumping solutions together.
Okay.
So very excited to have that coming up soon.
Still in the works, or maybe soon this year?
I would say we're getting close.
Okay.
Not going to commit just yet, but we're getting close.
All right. Well, thanks, Matt. We're going to ask you to pass the mic to Paul.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks again. I'll see you at the booth.
Try and leave it here.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, how's it going?
Very good. How are you?
Excellent.
Well, I'll tell you what. My last name is Smith.
Okay.
A lot of people's last names are very hard for me to pronounce.
Okay.
So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Sure. So I'm Paul Scarfile.
That's just like it sounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yep.
So tell me a little bit about what's going. I'm sorry. You are the director of Canada sales.
That's correct.
For Armstrong. So what's going up in the Great White North that might be a little different than down here?
Actually, we're pretty consistent around the world,
Okay.
but we're really excited about being here at the show. But we're really excited about our new approach with our clients.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a 360 approach to services and supporting our clients.
So tell us about that. What's involved?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's one of those. It's an approach that we're utilizing to ensure that we really look after our customers for the life cycle of their technologies and equipment and systems in their buildings.
Okay.
So we're really excited about that. So this 360 level of support and services, the foundation of it though is based on connected technologies.
Yes.
And making sure that the technologies and services that we provide to our clients are through our connected world. Yeah.
And Paul, is this new, or I mean, obviously you've always taking care of the customers. That's nothing new.
That's correct.
What's the 360? I guess what's the focus there?
Yeah, I guess what's new now is the fact that we are connected to our clients, connected from a technology perspective, and being able to be connected, and especially with customers now looking at smart building technology.
Yeah.
What we've done is then by being connected, our technology allows us to get involved very early in the all aspects of the building. So we're really looking at a total approach. So we identify it as our building life cycle performance,
right,
and we offer some solutions around that. So that's really exciting. So we stay with our technology within the buildings, and then we're able to provide those proactive services by being connected and really leveraging all the analytics that we have.
Obviously very important these days.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's just the way
it
it
really
is.
Focuses on those operational efficiencies for clients and making sure that their buildings are being well looked after, so the technology is doing what it's required.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, the catchphrase these days is predictive maintenance, I guess.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about here? Yeah.
Yeah, it's predictive. It is predictive maintenance, but it's predictive maintenance at a higher level because we're able to anticipate. Just because we are connected.
Okay.
And then how our technology connects with the rest of the building systems. So it allows us to be really, really proactive. So on day one, our equipment provides the right efficiencies and operational control. But then as things change in a building, as we all know, there's changes in the building loads and occupant loads. We're able to anticipate what's going on and provide a lot of analytics around that to help our clients.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. I wonder if you could break it down a little bit. Say I'm a contractor.
Sure.
How am I tied in with everything?
Well,
with this
how it
360 program.
Well, how it helps contractors is we're because of our 360 approach, where we have the ability to make sure that our equipment, we can give those contractors the best total first cost in getting the equipment installed, and then during the warranty period, when contractors still have a direct connection to the equipment and being able having to look after it, we provide services to them, and then we're able to do that in a very proactive way.
Good.
And again, our connected technology allows us to do that. So that's what we call it, a performance-based service that we provide.
Okay. A lot of good products on the booth. This is a little bit more conceptual, I suppose. But is there a display or?
Yeah, there is. There is. If you come to the booth, we're actually leading with our 360 approach to our support and services. Well, we can definitely talk a little bit more about our performance management services and how that works and the kind of value it provides building owners, contractors, and consulting engineers also.
Yeah. And I know you have an event at your booth later this afternoon. I assume you're going to be talking more about that as well for everybody that's here, I guess.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll have an opportunity to have that, this afternoon. Perfect. And then we have a really nice customer appreciation evening.
I know all about that one too.
All
right, very good.
Good.
Well, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to welcome your next colleague here. Hey, how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
All right, let me make sure I got this. João Paulo.
Yes, it's
How's
João
that?
Paulo.
Okay.
João Paulo. But call me JP if it's easier
JP?
for you. Yeah.
Well, why don't you introduce yourself fully?
My name is João Paulo Violante. I am the sales director for Armstrong for Latin America. Yeah. I've been working in this industry for more than 30 years.
30 years,
And Latin America is where I call home, even though I live in the U.S. But
So can you tell us a little bit more about what might be happening down in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I think it's, probably you know that Latin America was very hard hit the last 2 years by COVID. But we are start seeing the market is coming back. And there's a big, a big push for energy efficiency because energy prices are going up everywhere.
Right.
So we believe that that's a great opportunity for.
I haven't had a chance to get to your booth, but I know there's some signage about sustainability and some of the programs that are tied to that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we back in 2018 we signed the pledge, the 2x22, where Armstrong committed to reduce 2 million tons of greenhouse gases by the year of 2022.
By 2022.
And we are not
this year.
Yeah, this year.
All right.
Actually, we will have an announcement today at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
So I'm assuming you're on schedule.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I think our sustainability initiatives, they work in two fronts, right? One is we work with our customers to help them reduce their greenhouse gases, and that is part of 2x22. Right?
Okay.
And back in 2013. We signed we pledged to our net zero commitment.
Yes.
That means that by 2030, all our plants around the world will be net zero. So we have identified people inside our company. They are our sponsors. And the way we are going to work is through two areas, I would say. Energy efficiency, which is in our core of what we do. And also in the generation of renewable energy, our plants will have solar panels or windmills or stuff like that.
Okay. So this 2x22 commitment that you're going to talk more about today, that's a global initiative? It's not just in Latin America or North America,
it's a global initiative.
And it's your manufacturing as well as installation? Or?
Yeah, we will work with our customers as well, helping them reduce the greenhouse gases.
All right. Well, we're going to know more about that today, I guess.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Perfect. So, I want to wrap everything up a little bit more, and I certainly want to see that booth.
Yes,
but what else? What else is going on as far as trends that you can talk about?
I'm sorry.
Trends, industry trends.
Well, I think the most significant trend, at least that affects ours, is decarbonization. Right? How we can help our customers.
Decarbonization.
To remove carbon and move into the more energy efficient systems. Right?
Okay.
And I believe that's, you probably heard my colleagues before talking about the optimization of the plants and how we can help our customers.
Right.
I would say that this is our biggest trend that and the other one is digitalization. We're moving all the service to the cloud.
Okay. Okay.
So connectivity,
Right.
Interoperability,
Right.
and definitely energy efficiency.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Well, good. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Okay, thank you
We're
very
going to
much.
definitely see that booth.
Okay.
And is there anything else that
No,
I haven't asked you about the company, or what maybe is in store in year ahead?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything else you'd like to add that I
No,
haven't
I'm
asked
fine.
about?
I just invite everyone to stop by our booth. We have amazing products and solutions that
Good.
we would like to share.
Good, good.
Okay.
And that booth again is C4534.
That's correct.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. João Paulo,
Yes.
yeah? How'd I do?
Thank you.
Good?
Thank you very much.
All right,
Very
thanks,
good.
thanks for coming
Okay.
by.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and, and we'll be back very shortly. Thank you again. Hello everybody, this is Steve Smith, the editor of PHC News Magazine, and we're coming to you live at the AHR Expo, which I think it's been an hour since the trade show floor opened, and it is looking really, really good. So I'm glad that we could be back. It's been a couple of long years that we were not able to get together face to face for this great show. And what we're doing here today and tomorrow are a series of live interviews at our booth with various people from the PHC community. And our next interview is Ashley Martin, the Executive Vice President of NIBCO. Ashley, you probably have the shortest commute of all our guests. Literally their booth is on the other side of the aisle from the cameras.
Worked out great for me. That was perfect.
I didn't have to go anywhere either. Well, thanks for coming by.
Of course, thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Now, there's obviously, I can see your booth quite clearly, and there's a lot of people in your booth. So what can you tell us that's new and exciting over there? I haven't had a chance to check it all out, but I will.
Well, great, thank you. One of our new exciting things that we have in the booth is our Rot Racer Corvette.
Yeah.
So it's a copper Corvette to help us launch our Rot Racer, which is our push fittings made out of wrought copper that we make in Stewart's Draft, Virginia. And it's one of our big 5. It's one of the 5 products we have launched during the last 2 years.
Okay.
So we're re-highlighting all those products now that we are able to be in person with people.
Okay, so 2 years ago, you kind of launched the Big 5, or maybe it was Big 3 back then, I don't know.
It was just one. It was the 585 HP, and
okay.
Now we're launching that again this year, but with an extended line. We have the large diameter sizes available.
Okay, so why don't we go through all the 5. Let's read them out, I guess.
Yes, so the 585 HP, the large diameter. Then we have bench press, which is our carbon steel press.
Okay.
We have press ACR, which is wrought copper fittings for ACR applications.
Okay.
We have Press G, which is copper for gas applications.
All right.
And then we have the Rot Racer, which
yes.
we talked about, the push fittings made of wrought copper.
Well, maybe I mean, I'm sure there's great things to talk about all 5 of those. You want good things to come out of all of them. But you can't not talk about the Rot Racer, since this is a copper Corvette that I think I'm going to take home. I think Sally will let me take the keys, I'm sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Rot Racer fittings? What's going on there?
Yeah, so it's a push fitting made of wrought copper fittings.
Okay.
And so it's 99.9% pure copper that we make here in the United States at our Stewart's Draft, Virginia plant.
Okay.
And the car, I'm sorry you can't take it home with you because it is going on tour from here.
Oh, very good.
It'll be in the Southwest and up through California, making various stops so that people can see it, but also obviously to help promote the Rot Racer.
And are those at distributor locations?
They are. They're distributor locations. I believe it's starting here in Arizona next week.
Oh, very good, very good. Now, can we go into a little bit more detail about the Rot Racer fittings, I guess? What problem is it solving? What's the magic?
So with a lot of our products that we have come out with the past 2 years, it is really trying to help with the labor shortage issue.
Okay.
We feel it too at the manufacturing our manufacturing locations. Finding people in all places across the country is difficult right now.
Yes.
So anything we feel that will save people time, get it done faster, is going to make the contractors' lives easier. So with the push, with the press, it is all about time savings and getting in and out and on to the next job.
Right. And it does that obviously very
Yes.
well. So it's a press fitting essentially, yeah? Is that
Well, we
works?
have the push fittings, which is the rot racer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Push
Yep.
fit, okay. And so that's new this year?
It is,
okay,
yes.
Okay. And it's on the market right now, right?
It is. It's on the market right now. We have special display cases available, so distributors can put it on their countertop, and contractors can just
All right.
pick it up when they walk in.
And I can't get my eyes off that beautiful Corvette. So you mentioned that the tour is starting soon. Is that the dates on your website? I'm not so sure if I noticed anything just yet.
They are not published out on our website yet,
Okay.
but they will be here soon.
okay.
And so people can go on and look. We have a
Sure.
special landing page for the
Okay.
Rot Racer on our website.
All right. Well, as soon as you get the dates figured out, we'll put it up on our website
Oh,
right
that'd
away.
be wonderful. Thank you.
So, what else is going on with the company? I know you got a pretty good date coming up in a couple of years.
Yeah, we are excited. Hopefully, in 2 years, it will be 120 years old, and we're very excited about just celebrating that with
Yeah.
all of our employees, but all of our customers who have helped us make it to that milestone.
I know it's a little early, but is there anything planned just yet, or?
We don't have anything planned just yet,
Okay.
but as soon as we do, we will let everyone know.
Good. So, what else is going on at NIBCO these days, as far as the company?
Obviously, a focus for us is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay.
It's been a focus for us. We want to get people into not only manufacturing, but the trades, and just showing that is a great career path for a lot of people, and we do have great things that they can accomplish here.
Okay.
We, at NIBCO, my mom started our women's group. It's now about 12 years old, and that really spurred me to want to help our entire industry
Okay.
and really help with the ASA's Women in Industry and get that started.
I want to talk about that, but let's get back to NIBCO for just
Sure.
a second. The focus on DEI.
Yes.
What's all involved there? Have you had meetings or talks, or how does it work?
So we have training through our SAP Success Factors that we do every month,
SAP is
our ERP system.
okay.
And so we have trainings out there, like I said, every month. We're still working remotely, so we are having speakers, but it's all virtual.
Yeah.
We are hoping soon to be able to get together in person like
Okay.
we are here today.
Okay.
But we also do a women's conference every year where we do get together and have speakers
Right.
and give training so people have the skills to be able to go into new positions and be able to continue to grow.
Good. And that's a good segue to your work at ASA, the American Spy Association. So I know you're very instrumental in getting the women's the Women in Industry group off the ground. So you tell us about that.
Yeah, so that was started just about 8 years ago, and Katie Paling Seymour and I from First Supply, we were just having a conversation that we wanted to be able to support women in our industry, but also retain them and help them grow.
Okay.
And so it really came from that conversation, and luckily we had Mike Adelizi's support. And so we were like, okay, we got to get women together. And so we wanted to have a conference, and we were hoping for 50, and we got 70 that first year. And now they're going to be in Louisville in April this year, and they're expecting about 200 women.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the first one was 50 to 70 people. You were hoping for 50.
Yeah, hoping for 15, we got 70, and now every year we get about 200 women.
Okay. So the next one is coming up
It's
this
in
year?
April
That's
in Louisville.
Okay. So how has that grown over the years? I mean, obviously you've done something right. It's a lot more people. What are you doing to help women in the industry, I guess?
Yeah, so part of it is, training for different skills. Negotiation is a topic that always comes up that women want to learn about. So we definitely try to take feedback from the group and find out what they are most interested in. So it is about skills, how to grow in your career, but also skills for the plumbing, specific trades.
Okay.
Because we do want to focus on that. And we want to make sure the women understand our industry and how all the parts and pieces fit together.
Yeah, sure. Well, it sounds like a very good program. Are there any other activities? I mean, I know you mentioned the meetings, and those are good, but what about, it's just one day a year. What else is going on? What other activities are involved with the ASE Women in Industry Group that you can talk about?
Yeah, so they also have a monthly book club where they get together virtually, discuss a book that's relevant topic.
Oh, neat.
And then also at we are able to get together at Network ASA and meet again.
Right.
But yeah, the book club is, I would say, what we do a lot. In the beginning, we had webinars, but we found people now want more interaction, and so that's why they've gone to the book club.
I like that book club. What's the book? What's the book of the month? I guess. What's the latest one?
I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head.
That's fine. And you talked about this a little briefly. Obviously, the pandemic is not new news, although there's always something new, I guess, it seems to be. What's going on at NIBCO? You mentioned, are people still working remotely? Are people somewhat back, or a little bit of both, or what?
Our manufacturing locations, obviously, people are still there. We're an essential business. But our world headquarters, we all still are at home and virtually working at this point.
Yeah.
But I think when we do go back, it will be a hybrid situation, and people can come in if they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But if they feel more comfortable working remotely, that is their choice.
Well, I'm just kind of curious. I mean, you're the executive vice president of the company. I mean, it's obviously a little different for everybody. How is it working? I mean, can you get things done? I mean, obviously you can get things done, but it just seems like it's harder, or particularly if you're new too. I mean, how are you nurturing these new people?
You're right, because we do want to continue to maintain our culture, even though more things are virtual.
Right.
So we had what we called new associates events back before COVID started, and we've just continued those virtually. But also now we have new associate lunches where they can get together with their peers that are new as well.
Yeah.
And start to develop those relationships and just talk about things that come up that I don't know what this is. Can you help me with this?
Right.
So we're doing some of the events virtually, some are in person, but we're definitely still trying to develop that culture and keep people informed and know what's going on.
Very good, very good. Well, what else is going on in the company that you can tell us about? What's in the works, I guess? I mean, I know you're a big party, but in 2 years, but other than that?
Yeah, well, we're obviously always looking for new innovation and come out with new products. That is a big focus for us. We want 10% of our sales to come from new products.
Oh, really? Okay.
We're celebrating 120 in a couple of years, and we feel like if we want to celebrate another 100 or 120 years, we have to focus on innovation.
Okay.
And so that's where we have that goal of 10% of our sales have to come from new products.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is that a new mandate or what?
I would say it's something we've been highlighting for the past 5 years, but it's definitely, we feel more important now.
Okay, and can you tell me how along you are towards this 10% mark?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not meeting that goal at the moment. We're right around 7.5%.
And some new products, without letting the cat out of the bag, is there some new products in the works that you can maybe mention, or what areas are you looking at?
So like we talked about the Rot Racer, we have 16 SKUs in that, and so it would be wave 2 of that, launching more SKUs in Rot Racer.
Okay.
Expanding our bench press line as well would be a focus, and also looking at our butterfly valve and redesigning that.
Okay. And the 10% thing is very interesting to me to hear you say this. Obviously there's products, but are there commercial, residential, industrial applications that are maybe more growth oriented than others?
Well, right now the residential market obviously is very strong and has been for the last couple of years, and we don't see that going away.
Okay.
So focus on residential, and also the commercial market has been very strong, despite in the beginning having some holds on not being able to work, but now that commercial market has really come back strong, especially with data centers. So really being able to have those products for those markets, yes, that's a focus.
Very good. And I just want to ask you too about, obviously there's supply chain issues galore in this industry. How are you guys working your way through all this stuff? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Sometimes getting the raw material that we are looking for.
Right.
Specifically for our plastics has been difficult the last couple months, but we are seeing that loosening up, and we're getting more of the supply that we need.
Okay.
The nice thing about us too is we do make 90% of what we sell here in the United States.
Right.
So once we have the raw material and are able to make it, we can get it to the customer very quickly.
All right, very good. Well, I want to wrap everything up a little bit. Ashley, I know that your company obviously has been around a long time, as you mentioned, 120 years in 2 years, 198, if I'm my math right. So you're the 5th generation of the family.
I am, yes.
So can you tell us, I mean, obviously you and I both know that some companies don't make it past the 2nd generation. The 3rd seems to be very problematic. Here you are in the 5th. You're doing really good. What's going on? What's the secret?
I will say my grandfather and my dad planned very well. They had a plan and were able to successfully, move the company on. But also one of the things my father did that I think has really helped us is we became an ESOP.
Yes.
So employee stock ownership program. So 50% of NIBCO is owned by the associates. And so once you've been with us for a year, you are able to purchase NIBCO stock.
Okay.
And so I think that has also helped us be ready for that next challenge too of transitioning again. And so planning, organization, and I think the ESOP really helped us.
Yeah, and I'm curious, are there any advice, golden words of wisdom that maybe your dad or your mom gave you as you came? Because you've been executive vice president, I think, 2 years, yeah?
Actually, it happened in about a year ago, yes.
Okay. So what did your dad or mom tell you about how to grow this business and how to run it, I guess? Is there any?
They definitely, were focused on innovation and looking how to grow our sales there. But they always said you have to have good people, better people than you, helping you out.
Right.
And I believe we have the best people, and that's why we are successful.
Good, very good. Well, let's wrap it up there. That's a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm still Sally's off here by the camera, but I want the keys to that car, okay?
He wants to take it for a drive tonight,
yeah, I'll take
right?
a spin around. Yeah, in Vegas, sure. Fit right in.
You would.
Well, very good. Well, thanks again, Ashley, for coming by.
Thank you very much.
Walking the 5 steps over.
Right, it was a hard, long walk.
Well, again, everybody, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back very shortly for our next interview. Hello everybody, it's Steve Smith, editor of PHC News Magazine, and we're coming again live at our booth here at AHR Expo. The show's been open maybe 2 hours now, 2.5 hours, and the attendance looks very good. I have not been able to get out much, but I can see a lot of people walking back and forth on the aisles. The show looks very, very good, and it's a good thing that we're all back together after 2 long years that we could not get together. My next guest is from Raypak. Lyndal Moore is the National Sales Manager of Raypak.
Morning.
Thanks for coming by. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, how long you've been in the industry, those good things.
Oh, I've been in the business for around, let's say 20 plus years. I've worked for a lot of different global companies. I'm really glad to be, I've been at Raypak for 4 years, and just really, I was trying to think, I think last time I was here in Vegas, I'm from Kansas City, and we got the first time the airport had ever been shut down by snow, and we were stranded in Vegas.
Really?
Worst place to be stranded in after an HRI show. I'm trying to think what year that was, but
well, I think we were here like 5 years ago.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I don't remember snow. It didn't stop me from getting home, but
yeah,
I guess did you?
No, it never shut the airport down. I remember that.
There's been strong winds before when I've driven out here, like 40, 50 mile an hour winds. That stops planes from landing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you can make it home. I'm glad you can make it here.
I made it back.
Wanted
to come back. You bet.
Good. Well, what's going on at Raypak's booth? What can you tell about new products?
You know what? We're very excited. Being part of the Rheem, Raypak's under the Rheem umbrella.
Yeah.
We're at booth 2511 today. We're showing our new core product line. It's we're excited about that platform. It's a new heat exchanger that was really driven out of a voice of customer. As customers talk about what they'd want to see in a next generation boiler.
Yeah.
A lot of it was down about size and getting into tight spaces and various from how you get it onto a job and how many you can put in there. And as we all know, real estate's a premium inside a mechanical room. So this one was really the first project that was really kind of a Rheem engineering, Raypak engineering together, is using all their technology and modeling. And we designed a system, a very innovative fire tube that allows us to put a tremendous amount of more BTUs in a small footprint.
Small package, yeah.
And so when we talked about what they wanted in that type of product and what we were going to do, of course it was the size. Size matters. But we didn't really know what we could get out of it till we went all the way through this process. And what turned out is now we're able to get 40. Our boiler, this new boiler over here, it's 4 million BTUs, and we can get it through a 36-inch door on a pallet jack. And so it's not only the size and the width; it's the height. And so those all came out of our customers and what they wanted to see. And so. It turns out it's, after all the math's done, it's about 45% smaller than the leading competitor out there. So, that is really the final piece of this, what we call our Xverse platform. We call it Xverse Core.
Yeah.
The Xverse was kind of phase one, and it had our dynamic control and our Versa control package on there. And both those things were, is what makes Raypak different, and this is the final piece of that kind of makes it one of the most innovative boiler packages that on the market.
Good. We've been talking about a lot of different names. I want to make sure we're summing it up correctly. The core fire tubic heat exchanger is inside the Xverse boiler,
is.
Yeah?
That is exactly right. We're making that in Oxnard, California. It's manufactured.
On top of that, you got the Versa controls.
That's right. It's all one. It's all one package.
All one package. Much smaller than the old package.
It's much smaller than the old package. Size matters. Yeah.
How? I'm just kind of curious how that all came to be. Is there some R&D stories that you could tell us about? I mean, it's quite a significant change.
It is. We started down this process with, and we've kind of revamped Raypak in the last 6 or 7 years. We started down a process, and with that, we hired a bunch of engineers with a bunch of new ideas, and we couldn't get it all at once, so we kind of developed it in phases. So we knew we wanted to make, there's so many changes going on in electronics and just controls out there that we want to modernize that, and then we moved on to how we want to protect it, and so we modernized that, and so that was kind of phase one. And then when we really focused on, we just couldn't get the design that we wanted, and so we wanted to manufacture ourselves here in the U.S., and and that's where we started reaching out to our other sister companies, really looking at what they've done and their technology,
right.
shared technology, and then we kind of came up with a design that we saw what was possible.
Okay.
And our engineers really put it to the paces, and we just came out of testing, and we're very it's really a one company, for our first one company project from the Raypak side.
Very good. Under kind of the Rheem umbrella, I guess. They gave
we
you
just
the
used all the
assistance you
Rheem
needed.
resources. We we really harnessed them all together. So
Right.
it was really
Good.
very exciting for all of us.
Now, I hate to bring up the pandemic, but because it seems like old news, but then there's always new news about it. So how did that affect your company, and what's come out of that? I guess in a positive way.
Well, just like everybody else, it kind of left us a little flat-footed.
Mm-hmm.
We really, the whole world is running on just in time as a global company, and then procurement, just global procurement and component shortages have just been a challenge, and then to throw some of the transportation things in there has just really been a challenge. It's really made us look at how our we had the time sitting in our office a lot of time looking at things. We really take a look at how we would want to reinvent our go-to-market strategy.
Yeah. And can you tell me a little bit more about?
Yeah. So a couple of things. One, we just couldn't. We left our customers exposed in a just-in-time where normally we could build you anything, and if you waited long enough, you could get it, and within a reach. And we're pretty steady on that. But when the pandemic hit, everything was erratic. They needed it faster. A whole chain kind of broke down from our customers who served the contractors in the market. So right now we're opening up 5 different warehouses, stocking warehouses. We've kind of reconfigured of our most popular, what we think, our most popular products, so that we can get them across the U.S. So to serve different applications, move products around instead of having to wait for them to be built. It's a big endeavor. We have 2 of those open now. We'll have 3 more of those open by July. And so
that's designed to cover the United States.
It is. So we're looking to go from kind of a national play to a regional play, and then we'll be counting on our partners to really absorb that local play.
Okay. And I know another thing that kind of came out of the pandemic is something that we talked about before the cameras went live, and that was the remote. So what can you tell us about that?
So the logistics side of it is one, and operations one side of it, but the other side of that was when we couldn't, when we would have these, there's a lot of people that depend on heat and just different products out there in the market. And when things go bad, they depend on the manufacturer to get there. We couldn't get guys on an airplane. And so we had a tool that we launched a couple years ago that we had been just monitoring, and to me, I would look at it and I'd say, oh great, another app on my phone, it's neat and stuff like that. But when you really look down and what we needed we really required it turned out it's the best tool we had in our toolbox.
Yeah.
We could see what was going on there. We could isolate our boilers from the system, and if it was, in one particular area where we had a problem in upstate New York, there was a problem there. We couldn't. It was 30 below. We couldn't get there. We couldn't get our guys out of California there. It was that kind of a critical heat. But what we could see is what was going on with that job, and we found out that it wasn't our problem. It was a system problem. But with that, we found that we could write a custom program for our controller, send it through to help adapt to cover up the problem. So after that, between that and another big job we had that kind of went down at the same time, we had to take a breath, and we really looked at what we could see, how we could influence, how we could do it, and now we consider that we consider it more of like a medical monitoring system. You would never do surgery, you'd never open somebody up to do surgery without doing their vital signs. Now we can do that. We would never go to a job or send somebody out until we studied what was going on with it. It's really changed the way we had, and we had it in the toolbox the whole time. That's what's so amazing.
Yeah. So troubleshooting. Nothing new, but you can find out more stuff before you even get to the job.
It's monitoring. Time. Especially in Chicago. We just one of our partners in Chicago said, they have to set their techs in traffic to get down there. They can burn 2 or 3 hours driving to a job just to see what's going on there. Right. Now they can see what's going on before they ever get up there. So it's just amazing. We're all changing, how the world's changing. And we're using these things, finally learning, getting these things together, making them, again, a screwdriver was the one you'd reach for first.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be remote. You're got remote monitoring, whether it's ours or somebody else's, it's just changing how we look at things.
Good. Well, very good. Is there anything else along those lines that you can mention?
I'm sure there's a lot. But,
well, that's good enough.
Those are the most impactful things that I can think of right now. That's really got us going on there. So
over and above new products that we can see at your booth. By the way, what is your booth number?
2511.
C2511.
C2511.
2511. Okay.
Yeah, 2511.
Yeah, I think we have a booth visit with you guys either today or tomorrow. I'm not quite sure, but we're getting over there.
Yeah.
We'll see you. But what about other than products? What are some of the bigger trends that are impacting the industry that you see?
Well, I mean, when you take a look at what's going on, decarbonization, what we used to talk about it, I've worked for some other companies that's pretty big into the heat pump and geothermal world, and we always peripherally, thought that day was coming, but that day's coming faster than you're seeing electric cars and you're seeing an infrastructure build out, you're seeing windmills when you drive through the country, you see windmill electricity's here, and decarbonization is going to be a part of that. And so we're looking at, as a company who primarily makes natural gas or propane, what that's going to look like our business. And so, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at what next generation products are going to look like. And fortunately, we have more of a global footprint with being under the Rheem umbrella. We're looking at, so we can scour the globe and see best practices, and we're looking prepared to launch and get into that market in the future. And we're showing some products here. Yeah. So it's a day that I personally I thought I knew it was coming, but we always thought it was coming, but I really believe it's as fast as it's picking up, and I think I haven't walked the show yet, but I'm very excited to see other manufacturers in our industry, what they're doing, and we're all trying to fix the problem or be part of the solution. Right. And so it's exciting time in that area.
Right. Decarbonization, electrification of everything, I guess is a catchphrase. You see that more and more, faster and faster.
We are.
And
we see more money behind it.
We're seeing more space age products 5 years ago, but they're quite practical nowadays.
But back in the 70s, there was solar was jumped in there, and then the geothermal guys were jumping in there, and then there's a lot of heat pump. Then it kind of died out a little bit, but those days are back, and all those practices and now you're seeing this new you're seeing the next generation of controls, and then some new added technology and science, it's very exciting times. It'll be interesting what our industry looks like in the next 10 years.
Absolutely. And those 10 years are going to be a lot more changes than the previous 10, I guess. Yeah.
I can't remember the last 10, so I can't remember the last 10.
And you mentioned with the Rheem international footprint as it is, I mean, are there other electric boiler products that you maybe foresee coming to the United States that maybe are made somewhere in Europe, for example, or Asia?
Heat pump water heaters pump water heaters is a big part of our business in Australia. Right. So instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we can pull some of that technology and best practices over here, and we'll be launching here this year very soon under the Raypak brand and Rheem brand. And that'll be the first. Those are good, solid solutions and good, solid, fundamental. Those are proven concepts, and then as we enter into to take a look at those, what the system's needs are for the future, we'll be developing that next generation of stuff.
Very good. Well, any final words of wisdom? You've given us quite a lot already.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I haven't asked you or that you'd like to bring up to wrap it up?
It's a very exciting time for Rheem and Raypak. We're very proud of the products and our people, and I'll give you that. Our investment in the people has really made the difference, and the products will come along with that, and then the processes will make us easier to do business with, and I'm looking forward to the future. And I'm looking forward to this show and seeing what some other great competitors. We learn from everybody, and it's just a great time to be in this industry.
Perfect.
And just to finish up.
No, please.
it makes you, if you set out a year, it makes you really appreciate shows like this and getting together with everybody.
That's true. Yeah. Same. I mean, we had some conventions last year that hadn't taken place for a couple of years as well.
Right.
So yeah, it's always good to see faces again.
It is. You can only do so much through a screen. It's really good to get together.
That's true. Very good. Well, let's wrap it up there, and I appreciate your time, and
appreciate the opportunity.
We'll stop by your booth, C2511, to see what's new later on today, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Thanks
well,
again.
thank you, Steve.
Thanks for the time.
No problem.
We're going to take another little bit of a break before we come back with our next interview. Hello again, this is Steve Smith, the editor of PHC News Magazine. We're coming to you live from the AHR Expo. And we are glad to be back after 2 years when we weren't able to get together. It's always good to see a lot of faces. I can see a lot of people walking about on the aisles. I haven't had a chance myself to get out and see what's new and exciting at the booth, but I will shortly. We've been doing a series of interviews this morning and again this afternoon, live from our booth here. And we're going to do some more as well tomorrow. But my guest now is Kyle Spangler, the Director of Innovation and New Products from Aalberts Integrated Piping Systems. Kyle, thanks for coming by and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
It's great to see a really packed show.
Yes,
we weren't really sure what to expect.
It was not either.
But yeah, this is great. Great turnout, and it's good to see everybody traveling. And pandemic's been challenging on everybody.
Very much.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your professional career, how long you've been with Aalberts and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with Aalberts for about 5 years, started in our product management department, and recently started leading our innovation and new products, really focusing on driving customer-driven solutions into the marketplace, getting out into the market, finding out what our customers are dealing with and what we can do to solve those problems.
Good, good. Now, my first question, again, I've been with this magazine for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, but reported on the industry since 1990. So I know some of your legacy brands like Apollo, Combraco, so of course.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say a lot of people still know those brands very much.
Sure, absolutely.
But let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about Aalberts Integrated Piping Systems. Can you tell us about how it all fits together?
Yeah, absolutely. So Aalberts Integrated Piping Systems is a global manufacturer. Right, we're headquartered in the Netherlands, but I'm here representing our Americas division, which is located in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
So in 2010, Aalberts acquired Combraco Industries, and our flagship product is the Apollo ball valve.
Right.
So that started in 1969, and we're still manufacturing valves in South Carolina, just like Combraco, and it's a lot of fun. We're heavily vertically integrated, and we do a lot of things ourselves and really pride ourselves on our American manufacturing footprint.
Very good. Well, Kyle, I mean, as the Director of Innovation and New Products, you can certainly tell us about innovative new products.
Yes.
What would I see at your booth when I get there?
Absolutely. So this year we're going to be showcasing our stainless steel press line, which I brought a couple demos here.
Okay.
And so press has been, sweeping through the market. It's got a lot of advantages that a lot of people are familiar with. And we've just introduced our stainless steel press line. This was really a global product development effort.
Yeah.
So our sister company, VSH, manufactures the press fittings for this. And then we manufacture the 3-piece ball valve, and then another sister company, Broen in Denmark, manufactures this single-piece valve here. So between all of that, we have a complete stainless steel press solution that we're bringing to market.
Okay.
Should be available in the summer of this year.
Oh, okay. So still not quite on the market yet?
Not on the market yet.
Okay.
This will be available in the summer.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. What's on the market now that we can talk about, I guess?
Right on the market now is we have our carbon press line.
Yeah. Okay.
We also have regular copper press as well. Full line of ball valves and butterfly valves and all sorts of different flow control devices.
Now, you obviously have an international footprint, so I am assuming with all you mentioned, you just rattled off a bunch of people that make these things for you, so that helps, I assume.
Right. Well, when we coordinate our development together, we focus on who has the core competencies, right? So the core competency for press technology is at VSH, so they are able to focus on that, and then we're able to work together and bring this kind of solution, which is really the combined effort.
Okay. And what makes these, I guess, different from the competitors?
Right, absolutely. So with our valve here, we're branding our stainless steel press as Smart Press.
Smart Press.
And that's because it has several built-in safety features, right? So we have visual indication, right? So the color identification lets you know which type of sealing element that you have in there, which type of material. And then when these are pressed, this is going to break away, indicating to the user that it's
this part.
Correct.
Because I look at
Exactly.
this camera, this yellow.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Also, inside this sealing element, it's kind of got a hexagonal geometry.
Yeah.
And when you insert the pipe, you can really feel that in there.
Uh-huh.
And it helps control with the alignment and the orientation. Gives you a really professional look.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really a lot of the main features and benefits for it.
And I think I know the answer to this question, but what does some of this mean to the contractor, the installer putting this in then?
Right. So when you're installing stainless steel press, if you don't have that proper orientation, you're going to have lots of slop in here, right? So I think a lot of the times when people are installing press, they think, hey, it's a press fitting, it's easy to
push
do,
it in there and it's
right?
done.
It's not a skilled kind of thing, and there is still a lot of technique that needs to be done. So what we try to do is build in those features so that we could eliminate some of that room for error during the installation.
You mentioned it hexagonal. Is that one of the features?
Right. It's not completely round. It has some like straight lines to it.
Okay. Okay. So smart, but foolproof as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
And like with a product like this, if you remove 3 of these bolts, the
Yeah.
center section swings down.
Yeah.
So then you're able to repair the valve in line without taking it all the way out.
Okay.
Whereas this one's more of a light duty, kind of single use, non-repairable type
And
valve.
some of the features you mentioned for this, are they apply for these too? Are
Correct.
there something different, unique to these that you can talk about?
So this one is really has to do with how we manufacture this valve. So we're able to, get a really cost-effective product with this drawn piece right here, and then we have these stainless steel connections that are laser welded on. So, yeah, this is just really looking for the lighter duty. How can we be really competitive in a fully automated assembly line?
And anything to say about this?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a full line of, this is just, a straight coupling. Same indications here. This green indicates that it's EPDM, but you still have the same types of sealing elements that you would in the other products, helping with the orientation and alignment.
Okay. Well, you got quite an international story to tell. I mean, how do you put all these things together? This comes from one country, this comes from the United States.
Right.
How do you put it all? How does it work?
Right. So yeah. So what we do is when we talk about our global development, we're looking for VOC in the markets that we serve, right? So big part of my job is to go out to the contractor base and find out what challenges they're having.
Yeah.
What works in America doesn't always work in other places, but we still focus on where is that core competency at around the globe, and then partner with our sister companies to bring that all in.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What do you hear from contractors about these things? What's on their minds?
Usually, contractors want an available product. They want a low price point and all those things too.
Sure.
But they do appreciate the quality as well.
Right.
There's been a surge of lots of different press products coming out into the market, and so we try and really focus on delivering a high quality product at an affordable price.
Okay. And so the smart valve's not on the market quite yet?
Yeah, it'll be roughly around June of this year.
June.
What
Okay.
we're looking at.
And I want to make sure I understood everything correctly, because I think you mentioned some things before, but at the booth, what might be brand new that's on the market? What can we go over that again?
Yeah, so we've got at our booth, we've got our full line of valves
Okay.
that we've been marketing since, like I said, the Apollo ball valve in 1969. We also have valves now that are outfitted with copper press fittings.
Okay.
We have our sure joint groove line there as well. We have a demo for our our carbon steel press.
Okay.
That you can go and try out if you want to see how to press a fitting.
All right, sounds good.
And then we're showcasing this line as well.
All right, perfect. Okay, good. Well, we talked quite a lot about these. I want to make sure that we've covered all the bases that you feel. Is there anything else we haven't discussed about? Because this sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, Aalberts gives us that global network that we're able to pull it into.
Okay.
But the other thing that we're definitely very proud of our American manufacturing footprint. We do a lot of vertical integration, whether it's the sand that we use for our castings, the machines that we use, the automation. We keep a lot of that in-house.
Yeah.
So I tell a lot of engineers that are coming to the company, it's a great place to really learn all of these different technologies, because you're able to see how, hands-on experience that, we couldn't provide at other companies. If our customers want to come see our processes, you don't need a visa, you don't have to travel halfway across the world. you can just come, we can go play golf together, and we can show you the foundry at the same time.
But I got to think, though, with the pandemic being what it is, obviously there's a lot of supply chain issues that we always hear from manufacturers.
Right.
And some of them are bringing products from overseas to the United States to sell.
Sure.
Some are just having difficulty getting raw material to make the products in the United States.
Yeah.
So what's going on with your company? How are you? You got all these operations, it sounds like, all over the world.
Right.
Everybody's affected by this thing.
Right.
How are you having difficulty making everything you need, or how's that going?
Yeah, well, I would say that, you know, the pandemic has been challenging for everybody. We haven't been immune to some of those issues, whether it is getting a hold of material or, you know, labor shortages, and that's why we keep on investing in our processes, right? In our machinery, automation, robotics, because then we hopefully in the future will not have to face those issues.
Right.
So we're basically doubling down on that right now.
Very good. I think you need to be.
Yeah.
Everybody does. So what can you tell us about the year ahead for the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest investments that we've made this year right now is we're commissioning our copper press line to be manufactured in Pageland, South Carolina.
Okay.
So that was done before in one of their other global locations,
okay.
right? We're bringing that into South Carolina so we can control that process. We can improve our availability.
Okay.
And so that's a really big investment that we're doing.
When are you going to get that up and running?
That should be commissioning. We're starting to run off SKUs right now.
Okay.
So you know, I would say probably 2 quarters from now we'll be fully up and running.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else like that?
I mean, our next investment I'd say has been in our innovation, really. So we've started to dedicate personnel to really focusing on talking to our customers, getting out at shows like this, and trying to set up meetings, you know, and understand what those challenges are, right? We want to go to where the work's being done to find out, you know, where are the headaches, where can we then marry that with a technology that helps improve the overall customer experience, drive value, all those good things, right?
Good.
But, you know, I think before we were trying to, you know, focus from maybe just an engineering point of view or from our point of view. So one thing I'm really trying to bring is that we get out into the market, we understand what those challenges are, we get our hands dirty and really try and solve some problems.
And all these things are probably extra difficult with being where we are, where you got to have a Zoom meeting instead of a face-to-face meeting.
Sure.
I take it, yeah.
Sure, and that's why we've been trying to take advantage of events like this.
Exactly,
and, in 2 weeks, we also do a lot of industrial products as well. In 2 weeks, I'll be going to Houston to meet with some of the end users down there for a conference on LNG and hydrogen.
Okay.
We've got several meetings set up there where we'll do just exactly that. We'll showcase a couple products to these customers, but then also kind of get their feedback and understand what they're looking for in their products.
You mentioned, it made me think of, we've talked about a lot of good products, but the applications, the markets, what are those like? Are there some more promising than others? The markets themselves, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Sure. I mean, so, you know, we've been looking at healthcare, data centers.
Yeah, data centers is something I hear more and more.
Right. So yeah, those are 2 that are, I'd say, a pretty big focus for us right now. You know, a lot of these valves, the applications can be pretty ubiquitous, but yeah, as far as a focus on innovation, where we're going to look is we think there's opportunities in those 2 in particular.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to wrap it up. If contractor, wholesale engineer wants to find out more about the company, how can they do that? How's the best way?
Yeah, so today we're here at booth 1530.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, come down to Charlotte and we'll take you to our facilities. Love to have tours.
Do you give those regularly? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. All day long we are having tours at our facilities. It's a great thing for us to be able to showcase what we do.
Oh yeah.
We've got American flags all over the place.
It helps to see all these things.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it gives our customers they get to come see the operation, right? They get to go to the back of the house. They get to see how the sausage is made, so to speak, right? And so it's really something special that we have. It was one thing that drew me to the company personally.
Good. Well, any other last words of wisdom that you could give us about the state of the world, the industry, all those good things?
I mean, the outlook for 2022 looks really promising.
It does. Okay.
You know, there's still a lot of activity. I think all of us were caught off guard by how quickly things came back. But it looks, we have a really strong outlook for 2022, and we're going to continue to invest in our facilities, invest in innovation, and bringing, you know, the next generation products to the market.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Cal, I think we've covered a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
And again,
Steve.
you guys are at booth C1530, 1530.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
1530. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I know ourselves, we're going to come see you, so
Sounds
we'll
good.
be there and check everything
Come
out.
press some
again.
fittings.
I want to, absolutely. Well, thanks again for coming by.
Absolutely.
And enjoy the show, and
All right.
we'll come see you soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks to Kyle for stopping by. We're going to take another little bit of a break and then come back for some more interviews live here at our booth at AHR Expo.